It's been several months since I've last picked up this video camera, and things have been crazy busy down here on the farm. Honestly, you guys wouldn't even recognise the place if I'm honest. So where do I start? Well, financially we've been doing pretty well. A few things have changed. I bought a couple of plots of land, or one plot of land as it were. Unfortunately, a year or so ago a local farmer passed away, and his land ownership has been in the legal thing, if you know what I mean. It came up for sale. I was offered it. It came with 2 small fields with soybeans in, and it also came with his house, his farmhouse, which is a lovely little thing just over there. We'll potentially have a look at that a bit later on. But yeah, financially we've been doing really well. Milk-wise, I've been making a ton of money on a monthly basis. I've been keeping the dairy topped up with milk, obviously. They produce the butter and cheese that I make a little bit of money from. But for quick cash, selling the milk to the farmer's market just as milk from the tanker has been massively lucrative. I have made hundreds of thousands of dollars these last 3 or 4 months. It's been incredible. And I've invested that money back into the farm. As I say, there have been some massive changes. I haven't really bought any new equipment or tractors or trailers or anything like that. We've still got pretty much what we had before. I think the last time I picked up this video camera, I just had my new tank silo system installed, hadn't I? And that's been ticking over nicely. That's doing what it's meant to do. But the cows are just absolute milk machines. They really are. I don't know whether it's because of obviously in this part of the world we mix wet cake corn stalks and cracked corn in with their total mixed ration, and whether that just turbocharges their milk production. I don't know, but as I say, I think I said it in the last video, didn't I, that the dairy just can't handle the amount of milk that our cows here can produce. So hundreds of thousands of litres a month gets carted off in the tanker over to the farmer's market, and I make a decent amount of money from that. So what have I done? Well, it all started with me chopping down a tree. I was chopping some logs for the fire here, and as I was doing that, it just got me to thinking. I asked myself the question, how much of my actual land is covered in forestry and in trees? So it took me a few weeks to wander around and kind of measure things and top things up, as it were, look at legal deeds and paperwork and land ownership. And it turned out that it was pretty much, give or take a bit, half of the land that I owned was covered in forestry and trees. And it got me to thinking, you know, I'm a farmer, I need to make money. Yes, I'm making decent money at the minute from the milk, but arable land is is the powerhouse of a farm, isn't it? So I needed to consider what to do with all that land. So if you remember the guys who came along and did all that incredibly quick forestry work for me, well, after chopping that tree down for a little bit of firewood, I made a phone call, and about a month and a half later, because they were here for a very long time, as you can imagine, I instructed them to do some incredibly vast amount of deforestation. So yeah, they've been doing that. They've done that. So let's go and show you exactly what they've done. Now it's harvest time. We're now ready. Our several fields of soybeans are ready to go. Jack's big field is ready to go as well, and he's asked for my help over there, hopefully at some point today. But let me show you what the farm looks like now, because it is a different place. I can tell you that for sure, for nothing. Look at this. It's incredible. I'm astounded still. I'm still a bit gobsmacked as to the sheer quantity of land that I own that was covered in forestry. I've kept myself a bit of a back garden for no apparent reason other than just for prettiness sake, I suppose. Painted my fence, as you can see, installed a bit more with all the wood that came off out the trees. We made a decent bit of money back from all that wood. There was a lot of it. Some of it, though, I had manufactured into fence, and I've replaced all my old brown, broken-looking fencing with nice, shiny white stuff. But literally, as far as the eye can see here, this is all mine. It's incredible, isn't it? They were, as I say, the forestry guys and all their machinery, they were here for about a month and a half. I know they worked really fast with that job that we gave them a few months back over in what was my big soybean field. But that's going to get bigger. much bigger. I kind of feel like I'm having a bit of a rivalry with Jack owning what was known as the biggest field in the town. There's a strong possibility that trophy could be sitting on my mantelpiece, as it were, soon, because I plan on turning everything you see here into one massive field. So, as I say, it's harvest time though. We have got our small soybean fields need to be done. The big soybean field that we created, that's still growing, as it were. It's not quite ready to go yet. Obviously, that was planted at the very end of the season, so I'm not expecting that to come to fruition for a few more weeks yet. But the fields that we have across the road there, the particularly small soybean fields, they're ready to go. The field next to the cow barn here, that's ready to go. So I've got the smaller of my two headers attached to the harvester at the minute, because the big honeybees, I think it's a bit big for those fields. But that is going to come into use very, very soon. Or I say very soon. Next harvest, if all goes to plan. I've always got a plan in mind somewhere. And this is going to be incredible. It really is. I'm so excited for where this farm's going to go. I mean, just look at it. Absolutely incredible. Now, the farm land that I made a purchase of recently, that's just over in that direction there. We'll take a run over there, because, well, those fields are ready to harvest as well. There was 2 soybean fields that came in with this purchase, and they're not particularly great. The land hasn't been treated very well, but the soybeans are ready to harvest, so we'll get what we can off those fields. And then, as I say, when it comes to field prep, I'm going to essentially be starting again once we get this crop out the ground here and the crops over the road there. Get all that into my silo, and the crops in the 2 fields. They're particularly small, but if I have my way, which I am going to, this is going to be a massive, massive field of soybeans. I'm going to be the king of the bean around here, I feel. Right, anyway, so I've got all this to do myself. I'm just going to be running my own harvester and running in a tractor and trailer behind me as well. So there'll be a lot of walking about and backing and toing, getting my crops out the ground, and hopefully in a few hours' time, because it doesn't take long to do these fields. They're not that big, even with the smaller of the 2 headers. So we'll get our harvest done over here. I'll take you for a quick trip across the grass field here, because as I say, this was done about a month or so ago. So the wild grass has already started growing. It was all quite patchy at first when they started working here. I've taken a bit of the fence out here to give myself a bit of an entrance, planning into the future, because I'm going to need to be able to get all my equipment into what will be this colossal field. But the idea is, in fact, we'll have a quick wander over it. I'll show you how far it goes and what I plan on doing, because the big soybean field that we created over here a while back, as I say, that's not quite ready to go yet. Let me see if I can squeeze through the gap here. Just about. Yeah, that's not quite ready to go yet, but once that is has been harvested, I'm going to be borrowing Jack's massive plough, and I'm going to be turning all this into arable land, into one big field. So I'm going to be joining this field up. I'm going to be creating all this land into a field here, right around the cow barn here. It's going to come round. I'm not altering any land to do with the cow barn. That sits where it sits, and that is what it is. But it then joins into what is one of our existing soybean fields here. This is going to be joined up to that one, which is going to be joined up to all this, which is going to run all the way around the property here, right the way around the white fence line, right the way around my house, right off into the distance over there, and it's going to join up to the 2 fields that I purchased with from that land sale. As for what I'm going to do with the farmhouse, it's a very beautiful little house, actually. I'll take you over it later, if I get the time anyway, assuming I'm going to be, obviously harvest has to come first. I've got to get all my stuff out of the ground into the silo, go and help Jack a bit later on in his massive field using a bit of his equipment. He's going to be running his harvester. I'll run his tractor and trailer behind him and tip it into his silo system there. But yeah, massive plans, seriously massive plans. I'm very excited, really looking forward to where we can go with all this. It has been a pretty penny investment, I'll give you that, but it's all going to be worth it in the end. As I say, and it's all predominantly thanks to our cows. They really have been keeping me going financially. It's incredible, it really is. Right, anyway, work, harvest, soybeans. Let's get them done. Right, off we go. Let the harvest commence.
up all night, that will forever be our place. And I know it's been a long time since we were together. There's a special place in my heart that's yours forever. If I could fly right back to where I belong, fly right back to my home sweet home. If I could, I'd take it all back and fly high up above the open sea into another destiny. I close my eyes and I'm back in your arms, I fly. Sometimes it feels like you just wanna run. It's easier than facing your own doubts, but it will get you no matter how far you go. It haunts you every night. I tried so hard to forget what we had, but then something reminds me of you. Do you remember the necklace you gave me? I wear it every day. And I know it's been a long time since we were together, but there's a special place in my heart that's yours forever. If I could fly right back to where I belong, fly right back to my home sweet home. If I could, I'd take it all back and fly high up above the open sea into another destiny. I close my eyes and I'm back in your arms, I'd fly. I'd fly. If I could fly, I'd fly right back to where I belong, fly right back to my home sweet home. If I could, I'd take it all back and fly high up above the open sea into another destiny. I close my eyes and I'm back in your arms, I'd fly. I'd fly. I'd
There we go, that's the last of it, that field. Let's see if I can gauge the pipe distance there. Good enough? Come on. There we are, look at that. Semi-professional farmer. Right, yeah, really good yield we got off this field. Really good, really chuffed with it, but obviously looking into the future, this is postage stamp in comparison to what it's going to be. But, 2 more to do. Jack's been on the phone asking when I can get over there and help him. He actually wants me to run the harvester for him because he's got a problem with his silage system. That one of the feed chutes isn't running properly or something like that. Anyway, he was babbling on the phone, clearly trying to faff about with things as he was talking to me. But yeah, he wants me to run in that big harvester of his. He's going to run grain carts, so looking forward to that. So I'm going to get those 2 fields done over there, get that job done, and go and help Jack. There we go. So offload that tiny little bit of grain that was left in the tank there. That's this side of the road finished. So we've got, what have we got? We've got 2 soybean fields that were the new acquisition quite a way over there, which I'm going to take you over to any minute now. But what I did want to show you was this side of the road. Now, I do plan on calling those forestry boys back here at some point over the next couple of months, and we're going to give this side of the road essentially the same treatment. All this is mine, and it goes for, I haven't got an exact figure of distance in my mind, but all of this, it goes for quite a few 100 meters in both directions, and much further in that direction. It basically goes right up to the edge of my cornfield, essentially, and all this is mine. And at the minute, obviously I know we need trees. Trees are great and all that, but there's plenty of them. There's no shortage of them around here. And it's mine to do with, and I need the land, because as a farmer, land is money, isn't it? At the end of the day, I can turn all of this into arable land. Give it a really good ploughing, of course. All the areas here that have got trees on them, in them, under them, whatever. As you can see how just dense it is, and it is just tree after tree after tree. So a lot of work can be done here. Useful, for me anyway. All going to be turned into fields. But what I have got in mind, the way I think I'm going to do it, is essentially with the size of what the field we're going to have over on the other side, near the farm there, that's going to be soybeans in my mind, and this side can be corn. So I can essentially, when it's all done, I think, as long as I'm not missing something, essentially this field eventually will be joined up to the cornfield. It will all be one field. So this side can be corn, that side can be soybeans. Brilliant, as far as I'm concerned. Right, so we've got two little patches of the new stuff to harvest over there. I'm going to take you over there now, and I'm going to have a quick show you of the land that we bought and the house. Because as I said, it comes with a little farmhouse, or a little house anyway. I'm still undecided as to what to do with that, but it's a beautiful little house. It really is. So, I'll see you over there very shortly. Right, so at the minute, this is the only little access point I've got to this big piece of land, aside from going around the back of the cows and such. But yeah, that's a good job. It's just grass at the minute, so I've got a long trek ahead of me, all the way over there. I've got a long trek back again on foot, because the tractor and trailer are still over there, so the joys of doing things by yourself. But here we are, approaching our newly acquisitioned one of the two soybean fields. I'll kind of pull up close, actually. In fact, I'll do the furthest one away first. It doesn't really matter which order I do them in, but because I can show you the house. But let's look what we can see. I didn't even know this house was there really properly because of all the trees. You can see all the neighbouring farms. It's I much prefer it without the trees. There's so much more to see. But here we are. So let's just turn that off for a bit. So yeah, we've got this little area of soybeans. It's particularly small. And this even smaller one. So we're going to get this out the ground as well before heading over to Jack's to help him do his big whopper of a field. But this here is the house. And I'm sure you'll agree, it's a beautiful little thing. It really is. Just nestled away, nicely out of the way. It's, yeah, it's a lovely thing. Stale donuts. They've been there for a while, goodness me. But yeah, it's, I'm really quite taken with this house, I must admit. There's a little garage down here as well. But yeah, I really don't know what to do with it. I really don't. Do I rent it out? Do I move in myself? And I just don't know. I mean, my house is bigger, isn't it? But I must admit, I'm not too keen on this concrete slabbery here. It's a bit cold and flat, but either way, clearly had to be done just because of the lay of the ground. But yeah, decisions, eh? It is nice to have these decisions to think about, but what to do with the place. But more importantly, we need to get these soybeans out of the ground. So we've got these two fields, as I say, to get done. And once these are done, I have no idea about the quality of the ground under these things. And obviously, I need to take it upon myself to make sure that I treat the ground. So once they're out the ground, and we've got our, I think it's going to be pretty much sometime mid-November before we can get the other big field of soybeans out of the ground. That's pretty much when they're going to be ready. But when they are ready and they are out the ground, then it's going to be, well, ploughing time essentially. I'm going to be raising every bit of ground here, joining it all together into one colossal field. going from there. Right, anyway. Less talky, more harvesty. Go get the tractor and trailer and get these 2 fields done. Well, that didn't take long. Both of those fields haven't even crossed the threshold of 50% of that trailer. Just over 500 bushels for both of those fields together, whereas to put it in perspective, we got just under 3,000 bushels from the 3 soybean fields that we've already done this morning. So yeah, field prep is key. Right, anyway, that's that done. So our next harvest will be, it's either going to be the cornfield or the big soybean field, either way, in a month or so's time, maybe a bit longer. But now, I have just had another phone call from Jack. He's chomping at the bit. He wants me to get over there, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. So, let's tuck this away nicely in the shed here. We'll get over there. Right, that's everywhere closed up. Let's get ourselves into the pickup truck. Carry on with the day's harvesting. I'm excited for this one because I get a ride in a big X9 because, as I say, Jack's got a few problems with his silo system there, so he wants me to run harvester. He's going to run grain cart. I'm not going to complain. I go from my red harvester to a nice big green one. Not every farmer can say they can do that most days, eh? Right. Let's get there. Oh, it's great seeing everyone out in the fields, getting their crops out. Everyone's at it now. Now, looks like he's got everything set out ready for us, hasn't he? Harvester's already there, ready to go. He's literally facing the entrance to the field. He can't wait, can he? Right. I'll go find him. We'll get cracking. Look at the size of the field we've got to play in now. Awesome stuff. Nah, not much longer now. Can't think of a better place I'd rather be, though. Beautiful evening. Beautiful harvester. But yeah, just perfect. Right, that's the last of it. Job done. What an afternoon. What an evening. It's just turned 7 o'clock. Honestly though, that was brilliant. Really enjoyed myself there. Just over 5 hours or so. Let's see how we're faring getting this thing in here, shall we? I think that should do us. Not bad at all if I don't say so myself. Jack would be proud. What a machine though. Honestly, what an amazing, amazing combine harvester. Seriously powerful, seriously massive. Runs at 9 miles an hour, mine only runs at 6, so this thing's incredible, it really is. Not quite as green as it was earlier, but it's done its job, it's earned its keep. Now I've got a bit of a record to... what an evening, look at that, what a sky. It's at times like this that makes you really appreciate being a farmer, working outside in these in fields like this. Honestly, what a view. Yeah, I've got a bit of a target to consider now. So this field we got just over 11,000 bushels out of. So if I want to go for the record of the biggest field in the town, that's what I need to achieve and more. But yeah, what a perfect end to a perfect day, really. Let's go grab a beer.